Greetings, everyone. This is Carlos Guevara. Greetings from the Bronx. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend the conference, but I'm sure that you're having a great experience in this conference, and hoping that you learn a lot from these conversations. I'm the director of the Office of Educational Technology and the Center for Teaching and Learning at Ostos, and in my role, one of the duties that I have is to make sure that we establish different protocols and processes to make sure that we, developed and also assess the quality of online offerings that we have at Ostos Community College. And focusing on assessment, we have to take a look at the whole process of development, right? Going from the initial course design and development, and going to then the process of the course observation, and later on, the student evaluation of the course. And for us, how we've established this process, it's been through creating a set of guidelines which are based on standard practices, and to make sure that the faculty are able to identify what are the core elements to have in a course, and making sure that then they have the guidance from my team, from the EdTech specialists, connected also with faculty mentors, to make sure that then we have faculty um, developing the course, and making sure that then they follow those, they have those core elements present in the course, and then having an initial evaluation and initial assessment before the course is being approved. We have a committee that consists of faculty representatives from each of the academic departments, and this this evaluation helps faculty to make sure that they have the course ready before it is being offered to the students. And this process goes again with the rubrics and the guidelines that we have developed, and that would be the initial process of assessment for the online course. And we want to make sure that in this process, what the evaluators do, they observe the whole course, the structure of the course, to make sure that all of the content is present, that the connections make sense, that there is the engagement, there are assessment instruments for the students, there's ways of communicating with faculty, and so on. Once this process ends, the faculty offers the course, and then we look at the additional process of assessment, in that faculty will do a peer observation of a course, and then this happens every semester. And specifically in online, and in an online course, we have to make sure that we identify what is that is being observed, right? And the observation has to be equivalent to how we do an observation in the face-to-face environment. And using that as a reference, we look at one class period, and then we want to make sure that that class period is well organized, that there are connections, that I'm able to, as an observer, I'm able to understand what is the purpose of that lesson, and how it is connected with what I'm teaching, and how then there's the connection and interaction with the students. So using that as a reference, we just transfer it to the online environment, and we want to make sure that the observation happens in that period of class teaching. So in this case, will be a learning unit, could be a particular lesson that is being indicated to the observer, that this is what is going to be covered during the particular session, so that the faculty that is coming to do an observation, they make sure that they concentrate on that particular unit. And of course, you have to make sure that we see those connections, right? See the connections of how um, the content of that lesson is connected with the overall, how I'm helping the students to navigate through the lesson, and how I see the also connections of engagement. How do I use tools of communication like a discussion board, or a web conferencing tool, or any other tool that they could use to make sure that they have an engagement with the students within that lesson. And we emphasize a lot that faculty will have to make sure that then they use that correspondence to the face-to-face approach of the faculty observation. So that is a second way of assessing the online course. And then the other one, it would be the student evaluation. Right? At the end of the year, students do one evaluation for the class that they have taken. So there is kind of a different perspective of the evaluation. I'm sure many of you do the same at your institutions, and there are those challenges of low response rates and so on. But then the importance is to make sure that then we identify different processes on how we are doing assessment for online courses, and identifying what type of approach we're taking, and what is being looked at when we're doing these assessments. I know there are going to be questions, and my colleagues here, they have been teaching online for a long time. They're pioneers in doing this, so I'm sure that they will be responding to any questions that you have. You have my contact information as well at the end of this presentation. And I hope that you continue to have a great experience in this conference. Hopefully I'll be there in the future. And for now, thank you, and greetings again from the Bronx. Bye-bye.